Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of the Path to Exile Car Rambling podcast. My name is JC. I will be your entertainment for the duration of this car ride. So, I've been thinking about topics I could talk about, obviously, on this podcast. And the number one that came up for me was Banlist. Obviously, always a hot debate when it comes to Commander. I'm very torn, as is most most people who play. You know, you don't want things like Worldfire coming off of the ban list. But then again, there's things on the ban list that you don't agree with and you don't think should be on the ban list. There's a few for me, and there's a few things I think should be on the ban list. So, I'm not going to make a top 5 list. I'm not going to make a top 10 list of my things, but I'd like to discuss a few. I'm going to go ahead and start with things I'd like to see go onto the ban list. Okay, well, first one up for me is going to be, obviously, Paradox Engine. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's been ridiculous since day one. It literally was broken the day it got spoiled. Why is it not banned? There's stuff on the ban list that is nowhere near as bad as Paradox Engine. It is its own combo. It doesn't need a second card, really, to combo with it, because every card combos with it. So, that's my number one. I think that should be on the ban list. I really do. But it's not going to be anytime soon. Every time ban season comes around, there's nothing getting banned. Nothing getting banned. So, we can only complain about it so long. But I think the next thing I'd like to see on the ban list, it's a new card. This is probably a controversial one because it's something that this color has needed, and that is ramp of some sort. And the card is Smothering Tithe. Smothering Tithe, 4 mana enchantment. Whenever whenever an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2 generic. If they don't, you get a treasure token, which treasure tokens tap, add 1 mana of any color. Okay, so it's too good. Mono white. I've played several games. I have 2 mono white decks. Both of them run Smothering Tithe. I have played against somebody who also ran Smothering Tithe, and as soon as Smothering Tithe comes out, that person runs away with the game. Obviously, the deck is also going to need card draw and things of that sort, but there's just too many inconsistencies with what is on the ban list and what is not on the ban list. So, take for example, we have Power on there. The Power 9. A lot of them should be on the ban list. Some of them shouldn't. Let's talk about Mox Pearl for a second. Mox Pearl, 0 mana, tap, add a white. It's an artifact. If you don't know what it is, well, welcome to the podcast. You just learned. I feel like that one specifically, and possibly the red one as well, the Mox Ruby? I think it's Ruby. Those are on there just because they're Power 9. They're rare. They're expensive. They are lumped in with the Moxes, or Moxen. Moxes? I think it's Moxes. That are deemed as too powerful. I don't feel like turn one. I mean, it's a singleton format. For Commander, it's a singleton format. So, I mean, you can only have one. you get it out turn one, and good job, you got 2 mana on turn one. And I mean, it puts you ahead of the game. But if you're in mono white, I mean, I guess the argument for it would be if the red one, the white one, if those two were unbanned and you threw them into, say, a mono green deck, you could be ramping on turn one. But, not mono green, sorry, a 3-color, whatever the red, white, green, that's Naya? Yeah, Naya. Is it Naya? Yeah, Naya. I always get those confused. But, I mean, you could be ramping on turn one. That's huge. But then again, it's a combo. I mean, it literally, that's a combo to be able to ramp. Everything has to fall in line perfectly for that to happen. I mean, we currently have things like Soul Ring and Mana Crypt and Mana Vault. You can get all of those out on turn one. No problem. No problem. So I just don't see it as those two specific moxes being an issue. I don't think all 5 should come off. I do think the other 3 are justified. Those 3 colors don't really have that much of an issue with, not necessarily ramp, but I mean, I guess blue might, but I don't feel like blue has an issue. Like the other 2 colors, they've had issues in the past. Red's gotten better with its what's it called? Whatever the new draw that they have, where you exile the top X cards from your library and you can play them till the turn or whatever. But they have better card draw with that. White still doesn't have the card draw. It relies a lot on artifacts. Anyways, I'm rambling again, so I guess it's a rambling series. I'm allowed to ramble, right? But I don't know. Smothering Tithe. If Mox Pearl, which obviously, if it came off the ban list, it would just be proxied. People are proxying things anyways. I mean, if somebody's playing with a dual land right now and it's not proxied, I lose respect for that person, personally, because they're just trying to flex. They're not really, just proxy it, dude. Come on. Or Senorita, whatever. That was, I don't mean to alienate the women folks, but I just don't see Smothering Tithe as being good for the format, because like the Moxes, they can be combined with other cards, or sorry, other colors. So you can put it in with a green deck. You can put it in with, I just thought about doubling Q with it. That'd be pretty awesome. But you can put it in with tons and tons of other. I don't even know. I just lost my train of thought. The guy just tried to cut me off. Oh, the perils of driving and doing a podcast. Fun stuff. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say about Smothering Tithe. I don't think it's great. Let's see, what else should go on? This is going to be a controversial one, but I'm going to say Cabal Coffers and Gaia's Cradle. Don't kill me. I know. Chill out. Hold on. I have a theme going. Well, okay, not really a theme. It's just two things in a row. Smothering Tithe and basically, I don't like a lot of mana just being produced all at once on a consistent basis. Where, like say Cabal Coffers, every one of your turns you can you can tap and add bajillion mana. Bajillion's the number, I'm pretty sure. And if it was just like a one-time thing, sure, but it's not a one-time thing. It's an every turn thing. Same thing with Gaia's Cradle. Those are just too good. Not enough strip mines in the format. And they speak for themselves. If you're playing them, you know they're really, really, really good. Gaia's Cradle, I mean, a lot of people feel gross proxy. I don't, personally. But it's at the point right now, price-wise, it's sitting currently at $350. In the future, I only see it going up. I don't think that it's necessarily good for the format. It's green. Green doesn't need the ramp. It doesn't. And if you want to argue that, I can literally probably, that's a great two-word combination. I can literally name you off the top of my head 10 land ramp spells that can get you there as well. And then they also have tons and tons of mana ramp via the enchantments that enchant lands, the land auras, or whatever they're called. There's so much that green has, it doesn't need Gaia's Cradle. I mean, obviously, what's it called? The Academy is... Clarion Academy is banned. It's banned. Why is that one banned? I mean, obviously, artifact shenanigans are a thing. But... I see it as not a positive to the format. But, likewise, if we're going to have Gaia's Cradle, I think that Academy, the Clarion Academy, should come out off the ban list. It should not be there. It shouldn't. What? If we're going to have one, why can't we have them both? It powers up artifact decks. They don't need it, really, but you know, it's another aspect to the format that can be hacked, kind of exploited. But then again, we still have Paradox Engine in the format, so this is my personal take on the ban list. So take it for what it is. Again, Cabal Coffers. Cabal Coffers has made its way into every black deck because it's the best land for a black deck. You do the Urborg, is it Urborg? I think it's Urborg. Cabal Coffers combo, every deck has to run those two. And to run them, they have to have the expedition map. And so that's 3 slots right there in the deck that are taken up. 2 of them are lands. You can't argue that. I mean, they're lands. But I just feel like it's just those 2 things are shoved into every deck that can run them just because it's so good. And I don't think that's good for the format. I don't. But then again, Paradox Engine, blah, blah, blah. Who really cares about the format? Let's see, what else? What else is out there? Something else that can come off of the ban list, in my opinion, is Battle of Wits. It should not be on the ban list. If I want to run Battle of Wits, I should be allowed to run Battle of Wits, even if it is a do-nothing card. If you don't know what Battle of Wits is, it says, I believe, at the beginning of your upkeep. It may not have the upkeep trigger, If you have 200 or more cards in your library, you win the game. We're only allowed to have 100 cards total, including our commander, in the format. So I don't think it should be on the ban list because you can't win with it. It can just come out and sit on the battlefield. If you want to, you can donate it with Zedru. Honestly, that'd be perfectly fine. For it to be on the ban list doesn't make sense because there are certain cards that are not on the ban list that if we're following the rule of if it's a do nothing card, it should be there. And there are, I think it's a 5-color cycle, and it is the Wishes. The Wishes are interesting because they can't actually do anything. The rule with the Wishes is, so originally the way the Wishes work, okay, so what they do are, there's Living Wish, which is, you can, I believe it's a sorcery, you can search outside of the game for a card, a creature card, and then put it into your hand. That's how it originally worked. Until people would bring their entire collections to F&M, and they would play it, rifle through, find the exact perfect card for whatever situation they were in, and it would just make the games go too long. There's also Golden Wish, there's Burning Wish, Cunning Wish, and I think Death Wish is one. Each one is, enchantment or artifact. That's golden. There's the Burning Wish, which is sorcery. Cunning Wish, which is instant. And then Death Wish, I think, is... I don't know that Death Wish is actually a card, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't remember ever seeing Death Wish. So, I may be making that one up. But... they can't... Okay, so the rule was changed that it's not outside the game, it's from your sideboard. Guess what commander does not have? Sideboards. You may be saying to yourself, well, what if something gets exiled? You can then search for it then. I don't know if you can. I believe exile is a zone in the game, and the cards read outside of the game. And yes, the old way of exiling, it actually said something along the lines of remove this card from the game. But whenever Exile came out, it went back and corrected all of the ones that were currently out. And then if something comes out today and it says removed from the game, it's literally removed from the game. It doesn't go to Exile. I believe that's how it works. If I'm wrong about this, somebody correct me in the comments. I'm probably wrong. I remember reading something about this a while back. But so the Exile is an actual zone in Magic, and if you're searching outside of the game with a wish, you can't actually search Exile because it's still technically inside the game. You would have to. You could probably get away with it. Honestly, you probably could get away with it. So if you wanted to, I don't know, do some sort of shenanigans with Expropriate, which exiles itself, and then you wanted to do a Burning Wish to get it back, I'm sure nobody would argue with you that, because, it's a weird, vague rule, I think. I like I said, I could be completely wrong. I may not know what I'm talking about at all. But I don't know. I think they're do-nothing cards. And Battle of Wits is technically not a do-nothing card. It is a permanent. It comes out and it sits on the battlefield. I don't know why it can count towards numbers of enchantments. It can trigger things like enchantresses. There's plenty of things you can do with Battle of Wits. Not that I would play Battle of the Woods because it doesn't do anything. Anyways, this is I'm spending too much time on Battle of the Woods. I just don't think it should be on the ban list. I'm going completely off of memory on these. So, something I do think should be on the ban list. I don't know if I think it should or not. I think it should. Reanimate. I think Reanimate should be on the ban list. So I had a game. It's the one and only time I've ever seen a Reanimate play. I had a game where the guy mulliganed down to 5 cards and then whined that he didn't have any lands. That sucks. It does. He said he didn't want to mulligan anymore. Okay. We all felt sorry for him. You know, he has no lands. Oh, no lands. He gets to the next turn. Oh, I still haven't drawn a land. Oh, poor guy. We're not going to attack him. Okay. Ends up getting 7 cards in his hand. Turn comes around, he gets his 8th card. Pitches a Void Winnower. But we don't think anything of it because he doesn't have any lands. Next turn comes around. He drops a Swamp. Reanimates the Void Winnower. And locks up the game on a really early turn. I mean, it's a very niche situation, but I don't think a turn 2 Void Winnower. I mean, not even a Void Winnower. Okay, so if you don't know what Void Winnower is, I believe it either costs 9 or 11. I think it's 11. I believe it's a 9/9. It says your opponents cannot play spells with even numbered converted mana costs, I believe is something like that. And then they can't block with even numbered. It's either power. Has something to do with even. Like, your opponents can't block with even number, or can't attack and block with even. It's an overpowered card. It's ridiculous. And to have it out on turn 2, not cool. I mean, yes, it can be dealt with. It can be swords. It can be path to exile. There can be ways of taking care of it. But at the same time, it locks up board wipes. It locks up tons and tons of stuff. It makes for toxic. And I'm just saying this one card. I mean, I'm just saying the Void Winnower. There's tons of things that could come down on turn 2 that are ridiculous. I mean, you could go turn 1, drop something like a Need for Speed, or so. I think there's another 1 mana gives everything haste, like everything haste, and you can end up dropping like turn 2 Colossus. You can somehow pitch it to your graveyard and then reanimate, which you could do that turn 2 with a reanimate dead as well. But still, I don't know. Oh, sorry, Colossus. What's his name? The infect one. The really bad one. The one, if he hits you, you lose. You lose the game. So, I don't know. I think Reanimate should be on the list. If not on the list, it should be in consideration for the list. I mean, like Reanimate Dead is an aura. So, it can be, the creature can be killed either with targeted removal for the creature or targeted removal for the aura. Like, either one can work. Whereas the Reanimate, I believe it's a sorcery, so once it's done, it's done. I mean, you lose, like the player loses life equal to, I believe it's the power of the creature or the converted mana cost. I don't know. I suck at remembering this stuff. Driving and rambling and talking about Magic, way harder than I thought it would be. But hey, we're gonna persevere. We're gonna push on. I'm actually on my way to go get sushi. So, is that really everything? I'm sure there's other stuff I want to come off of the ban list and then go on to the ban list. I think the card I want to see go on it the most is probably Paradox Engine, just because it's just bad feels whenever it comes down. Nobody likes it. It doesn't breed any real sort of archetype. It comes down and you can play it in any deck. It comes down and it's just good, and it just wins you the game. I don't see it, especially at its price point right now. It just jumped to $30. I don't see it as a good thing for the game, because it's going to scare away not casuals, but like newer players. I don't want to spend $30 on a single card. There's decks that cost $30. That's what a lot of people play with. I have a bunch of decks that are $20 to $30. I would love to I don't know, do a deck pick on one of them or something, but it's I don't know where that came from. Something popped up on my phone and I had to clear. Oh man, this is way harder than I thought it'd be. But I don't know. I just think Paradox Engine is just so overpowered. It really is. It is broken beyond broken. And if you don't know what it is, just go look it up. Look up things that combo with it. It essentially says if you play a spell, untap all non-land permanents you own. No, you control. Not own. All non-land permanents you control. Which a huge portion of Magic right now is, and not Magic, well, it's Magic, but Commander is mana rocks. Yeah, mana rocks. If you have out, a couple mana rocks that are give you 5 mana worth of stuff, you play a spell, you can float some mana, you untap it all, you play another spell. If it eats up all the mana, great. If it doesn't, you float some more mana. It's a toxic card. It really is. It should not be usable right now. But I don't think there's much else that I think should really go on the ban list. Other things that should come off, I'd really have to sit down and really look at the ban list and memorize the things I think that should come off. Maybe, I know my associate on Path to Exile thinks Balance should come off. I don't know. Balance is pretty. that's a pretty strong card. It's real strong. I would say it's too strong, personally, for any format. What else is on the ban list? Let me think. Upheaval, that definitely should be on there. Obviously, you have the dexterity cards, like the shooting star, and then you have Chaos Orb. Definitely should have Biorhythm on there. Although I don't know. There's another card that does the Biorhythm effect. I mean, you have to jump through a little bit of a hoop to do it, but that card's still legal, and people see it coming. But I mean, what is Biorhythm's like? What, 8 mana, 7 mana? there's plenty of other cards that are 7 or 8 mana that are game ending as well. Biorhythm, if you don't know, is your life total becomes the number of creatures you control. So if you own 0 creatures, you die. If you own 1 creature and your life's currently at 40, well, your life's now at 1. So there's another card that does that as a creature. It's like you have to have, I don't remember what the specifications are on it. I think it's like you have to have like creatures with power equal to 10 or something, and then you can activate it for like 8, and it does the same thing. But I don't know. I don't know if it should be on there. Maybe it should. I don't know. Then you have like Worldfire. That is one card that is, in my opinion, Worldfire is one of the few cards I think there should be a ban list for this format. Worldfire basically brings everybody's life total down to 1. I think it's 1. Man, I really should have researched more before I started talking about this. But yeah, if you ever want to just go look up the ban list, go through, make your own opinions about it. It's getting dark. Whoa. Yeah, just make your own opinions. Don't just go off of what I say. Because these are my opinions. I could be talking completely out of my ass right now, and you wouldn't care either way. But you probably stop listening to me. Maybe turn off the video or turn off the podcast. But I don't know, man. I think I believe in the ban list, but at the same time, I think it needs to be revised. There's cards on there that are on there just because other cards are on there, like the 2 Moxes I talked about earlier. And if we're going to talk about Moxes, why don't you just put all the Moxes on there? Mox Diamond, Mox Chrome Mox, the Mox Amber. Like, just throw them all on there. If you're going to have the powers on there, just throw them all on there. So, broken cards anyways. Lotus should be on there. We already have Lion's Eye Diamond, and it essentially does the same thing up to a certain point. And it has a drawback, but that doesn't stop anyone from winning with it. Oh, those cards should really say something about exile or remove from the game. I don't know. Yeah, I think those are the top cards that I think should go on and should come off. I don't know, balance. That should. Oh, 2 mana. That's the problem with it. But then again, mana doesn't really matter that much. It's in white. White needs the help anyways. I don't know. He might have a genuine case there. He may have a case with that. So yeah, I'd have to think about that one. But obviously, play groups. You make your own rules. Really, if you have a play group that you play with often. I mean, if you just go down to your local card shop and you just play with whoever's there, you follow the ban list. But if you have a play group that you guys meet once a week, make your own rules. If you're following the ban list to a T, you're doing yourselves a disservice. Come up with your own cards that you want banned. Come up with your own rules, like no infinite combos. Like they only go to you can only make them go off up to 4 times. Things like that. Ultimate combos are not combos. Infinite combos are. They basically say you win the game to a certain point. There's some that are silly that just lock up the game, and those are my favorites. I saw a guy do a stasis with a Chronotog and it was something else. It locked up the game. Like, he kept doing the chronotog, so he had to take an extra turn. But nobody could do anything because we were all stasis. Stasis? Oh, stasis. Stasis. It was pretty great. I don't know. I enjoy silly things like that, like swinging in for lethal and to end the game, and then fogging myself. Just keep the game going. It's fun. We're playing this game for fun. We're not playing it, in my opinion, to win. We're playing it to have fun. If I don't get to do the silly things that my deck is wanting to do, I want to keep playing that game. I'm not gonna swing in for lethal just because I win. Why? I want to see this game play out. I want to see what other people's decks do. We put a lot of work into these decks. Let them do what they're doing. Like, I want to see a guy on one side of the field who has 100 warriors, each with 100 +1/+1 counters that are all indestructible. I want to see that. I want to lose to that. That's awesome. I mean, I have a Rift deck that I just started playing with, and I want to have a doubling season, a parallel lives, and an anointed procession out, and then just start doubling everything with Rift. Like, you know, I swing in and I double all the colored permanent of my choice, which then gets doubled by the other, like any one of the other enchantments, and then gets doubled by another enchantment. Yeah, that's so fun. That's what Commander's all about, in my opinion. It's all about getting off what you want to get off. Get off. I think I'm making a case for things like Smothering Tide. You can do silly things with. But then, like, you know, there's things that just end the game, and that's not fun, in my opinion. You know what does end the game really fast? Battle of Wits. It says you win the game on it. It means you have to be ending the game soon, right? I'm being ridiculous. Yeah, I'd like to keep this podcast going because this is really therapeutic. I can't believe how fun this is to just talk to myself in my car. I just had a meta moment where I just realized I'm just talking to myself in my car. Oh, this is weird. Oh, that's really weird. Woo. Okay. I've been talking to myself for 38 minutes now. I've been imagining that I'm literally talking to one person. Cool. Steve, how are you doing, man? You good? But yeah, I mean, you're doing, like I said, you're doing yourself a disservice if you play with the same little core group of friends and you don't make up your own rules. If you're not playing with the uncards, unhinged, unglued, unstable, couldn't come up with that. You're not playing with those with your group of friends. Those are a blast. I mean, those cards are so fun. That make you use your shoe as a counter, a shoe tree or something like that. That's great. That's awesome. And then one of my favorite cards is Ambiguity from Unhinged, where it's like, if you counter a spell that comes into play with a counter on it, instead put a counter on a permanent that would be countered, but it's some ridiculous thing that has to do with counters, making fun of the fact that when they came up with the game, they used the word counter for two separate things, as, you know, +1/+1 counters, and you also counter. Yeah, anyways, I think it's interesting. I think it's a great card. It's fun. I've never actually played it. Just because it's not that great. Like, if you really look at the effect, it's not awesome. It's so situational, it's ridiculous. But yeah, other things I want to do with this podcast, I want to come up with ideas that haven't really been done. But then there's going to be ideas that have been done. There's cards that I think should get more attention, that should be playable. Whoa, chill out there, guy. Oof. Oof. Yeah, there's definitely some cards out there that I play with. That there's green cards that go into every one of my green decks, and then I'll look on EDA Trek. Or if you don't know what EDA Trek is, I told somebody about EDA Trek yesterday, and their mind was blown by EDA Trek, and it blows my mind that they did not know about it. If you don't know about it, EDATrek.com. It basically takes. It's specifically for Commander. It takes all the Commander cards, not Commander cards, Commander decks from. Oops, run into that guy. From Tapped Out, which Tapped Out is another website that you build decks on, and it's basically Facebook for Magic the Gathering decks. People comment on things, so you should be adding this, or you should be taking this out. I don't understand how this would work with this deck. It's awesome. It's a great resource. If you're not doing that too, do it. You can also play test your deck a little bit with, you draw a few hands, see how it will play out without actually purchasing the deck. But EDA Trek, getting back to that, is so it takes all those decks and all those cards and everything that's on there, and it says what the most popular cards are that work together. So, say you're looking for say you want to play a color. Say you want to play Simic, which is blue-green. And you're like, I don't want to play like the standard old blue-green strategy of, draw cards, but +1/+1 counters on things. What else is there? Well, you go on there, you look up two colors in the little box at the top right, and you drop it down to Simic, and it shows you all of the available commanders that are out there in the world, and it tells you how popular they are based on how many decks have been built around them. The more decks there are, I personally feel the more decks there are around them, the more accurate the results are with what the best cards would be with them. I don't know. That could just be my brain overthinking it. But it's a great resource. It tells you what cards are used most with it. So, for example, say you're doing a Rift deck. One of the top cards is going to be Doubling Season, just because it doubles everything that comes out. Or you could do the reverse and say Doubling Season, and it'll show you what the top commanders are that work with Doubling Season. So that's definitely, it's a super cool resource. You find cards you've never heard of that work insanely well with your commanders. So, use it, don't use it. It's something that I personally love. I'm going to go grab some sushi real quick. I don't know if I'm going to come back. I think I want to come back, but I don't know if I'm going to. So if I don't, this is goodbye. If I do, get to see you later. And I'm back. It wasn't really, I went away for you guys. There's going to be literally a jump cut, and that's it. But for me, it was about 10 minutes when I went in there and got sushi. So, anyways, yeah, with this podcast, what I want to do with it is I don't know why I'm telling you what I want to do with it. I can't do it. But I want you guys to hold me accountable. I want this podcast to be literally me rambling about topics. My associate, Trooper, he's going to be... we're going to be doing another podcast. I'd like to possibly comment on that podcast, maybe go over some segments that we might get a little heated on. You know, we don't want to get too grumpy with each other, but we have some differing opinions on certain topics when it comes to Magic. But, anyways, I want to go this way. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, here we go. So, I mean, like, things I want to do. I want to talk about the other podcast, the actual Path to Exile podcast, which, by the way, so here's our thought with the Path to Exile podcast. So, him and I, we are not of the progressive movement. We don't agree with a lot of progressive things that Wizard pushes on us. We don't like, you know, we don't like politics being pushed on us for enjoying a game. We enjoy a game because we enjoy the game. We don't enjoy the game because, you know, you're putting purple-haired furry people on our cards. They're saying that it's a toxic atmosphere. All I have is anecdotal. Toxic atmosphere towards, you know, women, towards, I guess just women, really. That's all they really concentrated on. Yeah, I don't think there's much else. But they say that there's, you know, toxic atmosphere for women, but I've never seen it, ever. I live in Texas, and recently I've been playing in Austin, which Austin is basically California, and I don't mean like, it's super progressive. It's the Portland of Texas. But I have been playing since 2000. I took a little bit of a break right after Kamigawa, the second Kamigawa set. I took a break, but I came back a short time after that. And I've never seen anybody comment on a girl playing. I've never seen anybody comment on whatever the identity politics are that they're pushing. Like I said, it's just, I have anecdotal evidence. It's not, you know, the full spectrum, but for me, I haven't heard of anybody having these issues. Like, and not just, for me, online. Maybe, obviously, there's always going to be a dickhead out there. There's going to be a guy out there that's just, you know, hey baby, give me your best shot, or you must be playing because your boyfriend's playing. That whole thing they're trying to push on us that we're all doing. No, it's like, there's always going to be douchebags. There's always going to be that one douchey guy. Don't lump everybody into that. And so that's why we're called the Path to Exile. Is, if you listen to our podcast, it might get you not necessarily exiled from whatever progressive Reddit-y kind of place that you like to hang out. But if you talk the way we do, if you complain like we do about Wizards, I'm pretty sure Wizards will never sponsor any of our videos. Doesn't matter how big we get, we will never get a preview card. I'm cool with that. I don't give a shit about preview cards. Like, why would I care? Why would I care about that? It's gonna be spoiled either way. Literally, after I announce it, 10 seconds later, it's gonna be on Mythic Spoiler where everybody's gonna see it. Doesn't mean anything. Oh wow, I'm like a ninja. Look at me. Oh, that's so cool. lost my train of thought. Stupid ninja. But yeah, our podcast, our actual solid podcast, not a non-rambling car, whatever this is podcast. I'm talking about our actual Path to Exile podcast, which I don't know when we're going to do it. It's supposed to happen soon. We have some guests lined up for it as well. Big-ish name people. I'm not going to tell you who just in case they fall through. I don't want to be that guy. But we could potentially get you exiled from the community. Which, if that's what you're going for, go for it. Listen to us. I mean, we're a couple of pretty cool guys. We like cool things. We like doing cool stuff. I say and laugh after it a lot. Just noticing that. Need to work on that. I'm not real bad, but yeah, the podcast is gonna be pretty cool. We have I've already got 9 episodes laid out as far as the format of it. We're gonna do different segments. The whole theory behind it, there's actually like a story behind it, which is gonna be I'm probably spoiling something, but the whole, like, I guess, lore behind that podcast is going to be we live in exile, which is just a house called the Exile House, and our neighbors are going to be, you know, not really neighbors, but more like roommates, and they don't approve of our lifestyles, so it's going to be pretty cool. We have neighbors such as an angry feminist. We have a dragon who lives with us, which is, I mean, first off, I didn't know dragons were even real until this podcast, which is, I mean, it's pretty neat. I think it's pretty cool. He's not really that sociable. Kind of keeps to himself. He's a pretty cool guy. We have an orc. He's going to be making an appearance every now and then. He doesn't say much, but he knows the rules of magic better than anybody I've ever met. Yeah, there's a few others. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be pretty fun stuff. We're going to do different segments with them. We're going to do different segments with cosplay. We're big fans of cosplay. We're gonna highlight certain cosplayers every episode. We're gonna, you know, tell you how to look them up and all that. So we really want to build a community. That's our whole thing. Is we want to be a part of the family that we've always had with Magic the Gathering. We started a comic book shop in Conroe, Texas, which is, I mean, it was a pretty cool little town, but there was a place called Good Times Cards and Comics, which we used to play Friday Night Magic like crazy. This is during the Onslaught times, and I remember my favorite deck back in the day was a mirror deck whenever Mirrodin came out, and it was a 5-color mirror deck that ran coat of arms, so it was a mirror tribal deck, and it was garbage. It was 100 cards. I was going in there, it was out even after Darksteel came out and people were playing, you know, the Affinity modular, like, you know, you had the Darksteel Ravager. Darksteel Ravager? I think it's Darksteel Ravager. The Ravager guy. Not Darksteel Ravager. What is he called? You guys know what I'm talking about. He's pretty popular. He's a pretty popular guy. Yeah, they were just running over me. and I was like, one of these days I'm gonna get this thing to work. And I think it ever only won one match, but I love that stupid deck. But that was our origins. I mean, we would go. I mean, I was obsessed with Magic when I was a kid. I mean, obsessed. Trooper was too. He was always into collecting dragons. He collected. I think to this day, I think he owns one of every dragon. I could be wrong. I think he's still doing that. I think so. I know he does have a Zodiac dragon, which is pretty baller. That's pretty baller. If you don't know what Zodiac dragon is, it's is that a Portal 3 Kingdoms? I think he does. I think he has a Chinese version though, which I mean, I'm not knocking it. It's still awesome. But like, yeah, if you don't know, Portal 3 Kingdoms was a set that was released trying to get an Asian market, and the only way to get English cards was some went to Australia, and that was the only English cards that were ever distributed. And it didn't. I don't think it did well in China. I don't think it did that well. So it's just a super rare set, and the card itself, I think it's like an 8/8 for 8, I think, and I don't think it has any keywords or anything. It may have trample, but it does, like, if it goes to your graveyard from play, shuffle it into your deck, and that's it. And it's like last I checked, it was $200. So I don't know. It's a silly card. There I go with the again. Whoa, it's like completely dark. That's pretty cool. But yeah, what I was saying is, I mean, we grew up around a Magic the Gathering community, a family of, just players that loved the same game we did. They enjoyed the same thing we did. They nerded out like we did. That's what I want to build. I don't want to feel like I'm having to tiptoe around people anymore. Like, I mean, I've been playing a lot in Austin, which is, it's great. I love Austin. I mean, I love the LGSs that I go to. I've been, I'm not gonna give out the name. I don't want to put them on blast, or not put them on blast, but you know what I mean. I don't think this podcast is gonna be that successful, but just in case, I'm not gonna put their name out there. But yeah, they've been great. I mean, you can go there and pretty much there's always somebody looking to play Commander. So anytime I ever walk in, it's like I'll ask, hey, anybody have a Commander deck? And there'll be 2 or 3 people that'll be like, yeah, we have Commander decks, let's play. So it's super fun. I don't know. I like that area. It's a pretty big city, and there are tons of nerdy people. They all like nerdy things. So, but yeah, I'd like to build a community on YouTube based around not giving a shit about ideologies, not giving a shit about, just love your game, man. Just love Magic. I'm tired of this identity bullshit. It just drives me nuts. I don't care. I have too much going on in my life to care. And if you care that much, you don't have enough going on in yours. And maybe that's the thing. Maybe you need something to clasp onto. Maybe you should get more into Magic. Look at more combos. Look at more ways of making your deck synergistic. Just don't worry about, what somebody's saying and how they're saying it. I don't know. I don't know. Keep saying I don't know. That's another thing I need to work on. So I think I do know. I think it's just my way of closing out a statement. That's my period that ends all of my sentences. I don't know. But yeah, Magic is awesome. I've been playing forever. I love it. It hasn't gotten old to me. I've actually been on a weird kick where I've been collecting oversized commanders. A local shop near my work where they have an oversized Sliver Queen, and I want it so bad, but I don't want to pay the price for it because I will not use it. Because I don't want a Sliver deck. I have no need, no want. I have plenty of other 5-colored commanders that I would play over a Sliver Queen. The only reason I'd ever play Sliver Queen is to be degenerate with some sort of a Hearthstone combo with her, trying to make infinite 1/1s. I'm not going to do that. I don't have... First off, the card is more expensive. Or sorry, the oversized card, which is nobody wants, except for apparently me. The oversized card is more expensive than, like I said, a lot of decks. So, yeah, that's something I do want to get into is more budget decks. Because I've been pushing my budget higher and higher, and it gets to a point where I've seen this deck before. Everybody else seems to be playing these certain, like, 10 cards. Like, I'll mention Doubling Season. I'm probably going to mention Doubling Season a lot, because Doubling Season is good. It's really good. It's not so good that it's overpowered, in my opinion. It can be overpowered, but it has to combo with stuff, and it's not like an infinite combo. It has to combo with Planeswalker, has to combo, like it has to be on the field, which is 5 mana. It has to, you have to then either wait for the full turn rotation, or have the mana to play something else, like a Planeswalker, or like a Sapling Burst, or something crazy. So, I like the card. I don't think it's overpowered. I don't think it should go on the ban list or anything. But I also don't want to bash other podcasts with this podcast. Same thing with the other podcast. I may mock certain personalities on YouTube. I may mock other personalities from other podcasts. It's all in jest. I don't mean anything malicious by it. I feel like I should really have this as a warning on, as our like little warning preview thing for our channel, but I really don't mean any malicious anything towards anyone when I mock people. It's all in good fun. I'm gonna try my best not to take it too far. But if you get butthurt about it, preemptively, my bad. My bad. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. So, but anyways, same thing goes to the audience. If I say something and you don't agree with it, if you don't like it, preemptively, my bad. I don't know you as a person. I don't mean anything against you. If I say something and I don't realize that I'm hurting people's feelings, let's see, what's a good example? Let's take the recent PewDiePie. No, that's not a great. I was gonna say PewDiePie. Oh, if you haven't subscribed to PewDiePie, subscribe to PewDiePie. That's a meme that's going on right now for people in the future. Y'all probably already know that because you probably read the history books about it. Yeah, if I offend you, if I make you feel bad in any way, just know that's not my it's not my intent. Same thing with our actual channel, or not our actual channel, our actual podcast that we're going to be putting together. It's not, there's no malicious intent. Like, it's all in good fun. If we're making fun of a angry feminist, do you, girl, do you boy, whatever. I don't, that's you. I'm allowed to make fun of stuff. And if I'm not, well, to the unsubscribe button. You don't even have to hit the subscribe button if you don't want to. Anyways, this is going on way too long. I'm going to go ahead and say, like the video, subscribe to our channel. I'm going to add a couple questions to you. You can comment in the comment section below. You know how YouTube works. If you found my video, you're probably doing real good because you found a really, really hard to find video. But I'm going to ask you a few questions. What do you think should be on the ban list? What do you think shouldn't be on the ban list? Obviously, that's a pretty generic question. But what do you want me to talk about? Is there a certain topic out there that is really ruffling your feathers with the Magic community? Do you want me to talk about other formats aside from Commander? This is episode 1. I'm free. I can do whatever I want. It's just me and my car. I drive crazy amounts every single day. And I would actually like to I'd be up for doing an hour podcast every single day. I'd probably run out of stuff to say real quick. And you're going to be hearing a lot of ums and laughs after it. And lots of, but I don't knows. So, but yeah, what do you want me to talk about? I'm up for talking about anything Magic the Gathering. I'm up for talking about anything Wizards of the Coast. I'm not too keen on like D&D, other games. I don't really know much about Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. I don't know those, but I you know what? I'll talk about them. I talk about what it was like to play Pokemon during the base set and jungle set and fossil set and all those. Like, I'll talk about that, but my bread and butter, my forte is Magic the Gathering. So, but yeah, those are my questions. What do you want me to talk about? What do you think should be on the ban list? What do you think should not be on the ban list? Comment below. Thanks. And I will talk to you guys later.